Perfect. Okay, I think we can start. So today feels like a great day for the first Ambire community call, and we are joined by Ivo Georgiev, who is the CEO and co-founder of Ambire Wallet. Today
Yeah,
on the
good morning.
agenda, hey. Today on the agenda, we mainly have extension topics. So generally extension, what's the progress, what are the updates, and we'll also touch points on Ambire governance and Wallet DAO, which is the governing body behind Ambire. So yeah, I think we can start with general extension update. So Ivo, can you update us about the extension, what it is, and especially touch some points on what is hybrid account abstraction?
Yeah, definitely. So the extension is our flagship product. We also call it Ambire 2.0. And it stays true to our mission to make self-custody easy and secure for everyone. But it's specifically focused on seasoned crypto users, on degens, and I would definitely confidently say is the first account abstraction wallet tailored for this audience, and it's unique with something called hybrid account abstraction, as you mentioned, which is a combination of the best features from EOAs and smart accounts. Furthermore, the extension itself supports both account types as equals, but we'll get into this later in the call. But basically, yeah, it combines the best of both worlds because so far we've had account abstraction struggle to gain adoption due to the fact that it makes a few steps forward, but then also a couple of steps backwards. Backward compared to EOA wallets. Like for example, EOA wallets are very easy to like import on different wallet providers. They also have the same address on each chain. They also support custom networks. They're not restricted in terms of the networks that they support. They're also really cheap in terms of gas. And account abstraction, for all its advantages like account recovery and gas abstraction and transaction batching, for all its advantages, it usually lacks in those things that EOAs excel at. So yeah, hybrid account abstraction is something that we came up with to solve this and to combine the best of both worlds.
Okay. So it supports both EOAs and smart accounts, and lately there's been like a lot of discussion, and EIP 7702 gained a lot of traction. Can you let us know a bit more about the TLDR about this CIP and why Ember is positioned in a way to support it like fully?
Yeah, of course. First of all, let me prefix this by again hyping up the extension a little bit. And it's really important for the audience to understand that combining the best from your ways and account abstraction is separate to the fact that we support both account types in the same extension. So those are two separate things. So our smart accounts, they combine the best from EOAs and account abstraction, but we also support the classic EOA type. So this makes it really easy for people to migrate. And also something that's completely unique to Ambire is the fact that we support both account types on the same level. So that there's like no structure between them. So like, for example, when people think of account abstraction, they think of a new address which is controlled by EOA addresses, right? So like I think of this address as something controlled by my Trezor, or something controlled by my Ledger, or something controlled by my MetaMask, and I need like both addresses in order to use the smart account. But with hybrid account abstraction, you can use either or. So you can use either the smart account independently or the EOA, as we call it, basic account independently. And also we find smart accounts on your Trezor or on your Ledger. So it's a plug and play kind of thing. You start using your hardware wallet on which you have EOAs, and we automatically discover those smart accounts for you. So now you can see how this makes us very well positioned for 7702. But for the people who don't know what 7702 is, it's a Ethereum improvement proposal designed to allow EOAs to gain smart account features or to gain account abstraction features. Some people say temporarily, but that's misleading. It's for the context of the transaction, but it's not temporary, right? So once you have 7702 enabled on your EOA, you can use your EOA in certain ways as a smart account. So you can have everything that a smart account can do, except account recovery, except multisigs, and except a couple of other things. But you can do stuff like gas abstraction. And why this is significant for Ambire? Because we are the only extension supporting both account types at the same level, like as first-class citizens. So we are very well positioned to do this gradual seamless transition where you don't even care about what the account type is anymore. You just import your existing accounts and you're good to go. You can make use of all the features. So yeah, that's basically it. And a lot of things about hybrid account abstraction also tie into 7702 because hybrid account abstraction is all about this middle ground between the simplicity of an EOA and the power of smart accounts.
Okay, from like from user perspective, like using EOAs and smart accounts right now before 7702, which features do you think are most appealing for users? So which features, which smart account features users prefer most? And yeah.
So I'm really glad you're bringing this up because all of the talk so far has been kind of hypothetical, right? I talk about different account types, I talk about account abstraction, but we haven't touched upon what are the actual user benefits. So the actual, for me, one of the best benefits is that you can get started with an account and then start using alternative networks like layer 2s without having to bridge native tokens to pay for gas. So that's a really big pain point for everyone. Like, for example, I start using this account, I have funds on base, but then I want to go on optimism and I don't have any ether on optimism. So now I have to figure out how to bridge the ether on optimism in order to interact with the optimism chain. And this is something that account abstraction solves like that, basically, like really easily. And with 7702 you'd be able to use this feature on your EOAs as well, but without 7702 you have to stick to the smart account type, but you can still use it in the same extension. So that's really magical because basically the UX goes like this: you start using the account, you already have some gas tank deposit, which is done automatically in the Ambire extension through cashbacks. So like when you pay a fee on Ethereum, you receive this cashback and it goes into this thing we call your gas tank, which is like yeah, basically what it says, right? A gas tank. It's a storage for funds used to pay for transaction fees. So once you have this set up, you can go on any chain on any layer 2 and you can pay for the fee without having native, which is really magical and really simplifies your UX. And another really cool thing is that account abstraction basically eliminates ERC20 approvals. So the way this works is under the hood there is something called transaction batching, which allows you to do many things in one transaction. So thanks to this, a swap doesn't have to rely on a prior approve. You can just do the swap and we will automatically queue the approval before that, and you will only sign once. But then most importantly, the approval would be for the exact amount and not for an infinite amount, because you don't need to care about this in the future. We do infinite approvals right now in the industry because they eliminate the approval hassle in the future. But if you have this mechanism of automatically batching approvals together, then you don't need to do infinite approvals. So we eliminate infinite approvals, which is also really amazing for security. You know how bad things can get when it comes to security and approvals. So yeah, I would say that those are the two biggest account abstraction features for myself. The fact that you don't have to have natives on layer 2s and the fact that ERC20 approvals are eliminated.
Cool. Yeah, and regarding batching, I think that a lot of users, people are so used to managing token approvals, that, for example, when a user comes, for example, to Ambire's web wallet or mobile wallet, this is already built in. So batching a limited token approval with swap. What about the extension? When do you see with built-in swap coming in? How do you see transaction batching in the future generally? And what are some other use cases as well for batching?
Great question. So the built-in swap is coming in 2 or 3 months max. We are starting work on this in a couple of weeks, hopefully, fingers crossed, or even earlier. So it should be done quite quickly. We are using Socket for that. So if anyone has ever used Bungee Exchange, you should be familiar with how it works exactly. But we're going to do a slightly sleeker UI. And also the benefit of this is that you're going to be able to bridge really easily again from the extension UI, not only to swap but also to bridge in one UI. And yeah, that's also gonna include the batched approvals. So that's gonna bring this feature to the extension as well, and you never need to care about approvals anymore, which is quite nice. But when it comes to other use cases of transaction batching, it just like one use case is just having cheaper gas, right? We don't care about this right at the moment because Ethereum gas is very cheap, but maybe hopefully in a couple of months when everything starts going up again, the gas fees are going to get expensive again. And with a 100 Dre gas fee, obviously people are going to care. So, as a practical example, imagine that I want to swap some funds and then put those funds into Aave. Rather than making two separate transactions, I can only do one, which is going to be nicer because I'm only going to sign with my hardware wallet once. So smoother UX, but then also it's going to be cheaper in terms of gas. So I'm not going to pay gas twice for doing two transactions. I'm only going to pay it once. So that's an excellent example of why batching is valuable. But you can get quite extreme with it. Like for example, you can, if you have like many people to send funds to, you can batch it in one transaction and send like funds to 10 people in one transaction. But yeah, the use cases are numerous, but I think that they're going to get more valuable as the gas fees go up. And also, I think that eliminating approvals is an extremely valuable security benefit of transaction batching.
Perfect. So extension has been in closed testing for a few months right now. How can somebody become an early tester?
There are many ways. One of the ways is just join our Discord and ask for a code. Another way is to stay tuned to our email channels and subscribe with your email on our website, and we're gonna send you a code. And then another way is to simply go on the web wallet and look out for a model, because in the web wallet right now, if you have an existing account, you're just gonna see a model giving you a model dialog giving you an invite code for the extension. So just look out for that. So yeah, there are many ways to gain access. Just ping us on any channel and you're gonna get a code. We of course appreciate feedback, so that's also hugely valuable for us.
Cool. So how do you envision? So extension is right now in the closed testing mode. What are some plans on launching it to public? Will there be a campaign, and how everything fits together with Ambire governance and Wallet DAO, which governs majority of development and big decisions?
Yeah, so we have something super exciting planned on that front. So basically, everything ties together. The extension launch, the extension like go-to-market strategy, the DAO and the token, everything will kind of go together for this. And what I mean is we're going to have a campaign where we allocate, where we run a governance proposal to allocate a big number of wallet tokens to an early user incentive campaign, which is also based on XP points that you collect in the extension. So everyone who is testing the extension right now is going to have a head start on this because we're going to count all user activity starting from a certain point in time, which I cannot disclose. But basically, if you are testing it now, you're gonna have some benefits for this campaign. So yeah, basically the way it's gonna work, it's gonna be highly gamified. You're collecting XP points. The XP points give you a level, and then based off of this level, if the governance proposal passes, you're gonna get tokens distributed to you.
Okay. Cool. So if somebody is already testing, the user is already accruing XP, or?
Yes, I cannot like obviously it wouldn't be smart to to reveal absolutely all the details at this point. but if you are testing the extension, you're certainly getting benefits in the future. That's all I will say.
Okay, I think that we can move to some questions which were pre-asked on Twitter and on Telegram. The first question goes, what's ahead for the gas tank feature?
Excellent question. So I would say that this is one of our most unique features. We came up with it, I think, around 2 years ago, and since then it has been copied by many, many teams. And ours is still the most powerful, so we don't see any technical improvements coming to the gas tank anytime soon, because it's powerful enough for almost all use cases. You can deposit like stable coins, you can deposit natives on any given network and then spend it on any other given network, which is nothing short of magical. But one of the main things that's ahead for this feature is collaborating with dApps and collaborating with like basically dApp teams for like pre-deposit into the gas tank. So like for example, if you start using a certain dApp which would like to promote usage, it would give you a deposit in the gas tank like right off the bat. And this is quite cool because you can spend these funds only for network fees, and then also networks themselves like layer 2s can also participate in those. So also like offer bounties where users would get a certain gas tank deposit if they use this network. So that's pretty cool to incentivize usage of the gas tank and of Ambire and of account abstraction in general through this mechanism. And then another cool thing for the gas tank is simply user education and making it more ergonomical and more how do I say, more not exactly user friendly but more intuitive. So yeah, making it more intuitive would be great because it's really mind blowing for people, and not everyone gets it, and it takes a while until you get it. But once you get it, it's a really simple concept. You deposit once anywhere, and then you spend those funds for transaction fees wherever you want. So it's really simple to understand, but it's kind of never seen before. So we have a lot to do in terms of user education.
Okay, gas tank is already available in extension, or with the public launch it will be fully available on all EVMs, or?
It is already almost fully available in the extension. I think the only feature that's lacking right now, and I think it's gonna be fixed, it should be fixed any moment, is depositing native tokens. So right now you can only deposit stable coins and of course the wallet token. But in the very near future, hopefully weeks, if not days, you'll be able to deposit natives as well.
Okay, okay. Let's move to the second question. The question is, when can we import an old Ambire account which was created with email password as signer in the extension?
So you can do this right now, although we don't really recommend it. Why? Because the new accounts have a lot more powerful features, and like for example, the new accounts can be used with ERC4337, which opens the door in the future for more supported networks, which is also nice. So basically, we recommend people to migrate to the new accounts, to move their funds to the new accounts, but there are two ways in which you can import an existing Ambire account. One of the ways is import the key. When I say the key, I mean like the Trezor, Ledger, or MetaMask account using which the account was created. Import that account, and during the import process, you're gonna see a banner on the top of the accounts list saying we found one or two or whatever linked accounts to this key. And then you can click that pop-up and it's going to show you the old Ambire account, and you can just select it and import it. So that's one of the ways. The second way is to import it as a view-only account. And then when you need to sign something, you can import the key. So again, import a Trezor, Ledger, or MetaMask account, which is used as a signer key for this Ambire account. So yeah, those are the two ways, either as a linked account or as a view-only account. Both ways work. There is an exception though, there is a caveat to that, which is if it's an email account, then you need to add a signer key, which is a Trezor, a Ledger, or a MetaMask account. before you are able to import it into the extension. So yeah, that's one exception. But other than that, it's super easy. We just recommend using the new accounts.
Okay, so you definitely recommend users to create the fresh account 2.0 smart account instead of using the old one, or
Yeah.
what would you
Yeah.
recommend? Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, and this goes for any wallet provider, for any type of wallet. It's always good to have some wallet hygiene and rotate wallets from time to time because it helps preserve your privacy. So any way you kind of accidentally doxed your old account, like for example, if you've withdrawn from an exchange or done whatever, this means that someone knows that this is you. For example, you KYC'd on the exchange, which means that the exchange now knows that this address is yours. So it's always good hygiene to like rotate wallets from time to time. So that's why we recommend using the new accounts, other than of course the features that the new accounts have.
Okay, okay. Let's move to the next one. When Schnorr multisig in Ambire?
Really cool question. There's no concrete timeline for this, but we've had this idea which we think is really nice to use Schnorr signatures to create sort of not exactly a multisig, but imagine a really institutional friendly Ambire account. What I mean by institutional friendly is that it won't be exactly fully self-custodial. It will have a secondary custodian, which is something that institutions really care about because institutions are often not confident enough in their own custody skills, so they would like to outsource this. And then, second of all, you can have an additional key shard, which is managed by a backend, which does fraud protection and fraud monitoring. So, like for example, if someone in the institution managing this account tries to sign something which is phishing, then this key shard would deny the signature. So it would protect this account further. So we've thought about this institutional friendly account type, which thanks to Schnorr, there won't be any like trace on chain of who the actual key shards are, which is also quite nice. So from the outside, it would appear like a normal smart account with one signer key, but in reality, there will be many signer keys under the hood. Which is fantastic for privacy, fantastic for institutions, fantastic for fraud protection, and etc. So yeah, there's no concrete timeline at the moment, but we are brainstorming such features because Schnorr signatures are amazing. But it's also really important to say here that we can afford this brainstorming because we have Schnorr signatures built into Ambire accounts, which is something absolutely unique. No other account abstraction wallet does this, and we've done it in a way that's really gas efficient. This is something that Vitalik came up with and blogged in his blog, which is not exactly a hack, but like a way to use easy recover in Solidity to verify Schnorr signatures. It's really mind blowing, but it's extremely cheap. Makes it extremely cheap to verify Schnorr signatures. So yeah, basically what this allows for the future is cheap and private multi-sigs. Yeah, we're
Oh,
definitely thinking about it.
cool. I think we covered everything for today. Thank you very much, Ivo, for joining us for the first call. I think that everybody can expect more similar calls in the future as we near extension public launch. Um, Thank you very much for being with us and have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks
Bye
everyone
bye.
for joining. Have a good day.
Bye.